toys, and don't we have enough, and blah blah blah. I said, "Tumko to kuch nahi, vis-a-vis you and him, the role will be different, because of course you will be expected to do much more than a man is expected to." But he was totally aboard the idea of having a pet at home. But when my sister-in-law left us with the responsibility of looking after one. My God, I mean, it was my sister-in-law's pet, and she had gone abroad because my brother-in-law wasn't well, and they had gone for their treatment. Anup would come back from office, and when the driver was parking the car, he would go, and because on his request, he was tied outside next to the watchman guy. But he would go every day, say, Cube, kya kar raha? Kya, huh? Kya kar raha?" And yeah, I will say, and he would sound as if he didn't care, but the kind of person, and I see Priya very, very uh, passionate and very compassionate both. So I am sure. And now after Pepper, well, Pepper was our lifeline, but after she's gone and Anand's pet is with us, he's the one. एसी डाल लेना, तुम उसके साथ रहना, अरे उसने कुछ खाया नहीं है, वो उसकी आंखों से आंसू निकल रहा है, excuse me, आंखों से नहीं आंसू निकलता है कभी. He's just have a bad time with his, going out and playing around. So it is just that. Yeah.
Yeah, Rachna, thank you for that. And I totally agree with what you're saying. Definitely deep within me, I have a lot of love. But the fear, let's see, when it's a few people staying in a family, your travels, with a
Yeah.
husband who needs to take 4 holidays a year and who
Yeah.
doesn't like to spend the Sunday at home at all. She has a mother who needs to spend 1 month in Calcutta. How do I take care of that
Yeah. Yeah.
child? I would call it a child. I won't even call a pet. After all, that's member of my family. Where do I leave the child unattended? So that fear of
That is
ta- uh, not being able to do justice to a living being
what
is
we
what takes me away from that. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah.
We will all grow in our
Which is,
journey.
yeah.
Something will definitely happen.
We'll all work on it together, Priya. Don't worry about it.
Yes, yes. And I want to add one thing. When Arna had decided that she's going to get a dog home, she spoke to all my neighbors. I am blessed with lovely neighbors. That Bubbly Dadi, when I'm going to Calcutta, 1 month you will be keeping, my dog at your place. On Sundays when we go out, then Jayashri Dadi will be keeping. So her whole plan, her whole
Everything was
framework
set.
is all set. The
My
name is
God.
set, everything. The only thing I could do is from dog, I got her down to fishes. So she now has 5 fishes who are my 5 children. So right now that's the scene, but let's see. We can't tell about tomorrow how it happens.
Yeah, and that's
Priyash,
lovely. You're open to it.
Yes.
Open to it.
As
And
long
that's
as
Priya,
someone is there to take care and attend properly. I
Priya,
can't
she is much faster than you because she's already visualized everything.
yeah,
She's
Oh
much
totally.
yes,
faster.
Dimple. I can't tell you. On all our international trips, more than monuments, we have pictures of dogs from all breeds. So if
Wow.
it's the Eastern Europe trip, I think we've stopped every third minute because someone, there most of them carry their pet in hand. Every third minute we've stopped because Arna's taking a picture with the dog, and the group is somewhere and we are somewhere. It's always been like that. But thank you so much, Ruchi, and thank you everyone.
Lovely. I mean, I have enough and more stories to tell you on dogs, and I'll take it offline and we will discuss them. But right now, let's not spend any more time on that. So, how was it yesterday? Were
Yeah,
you
I would
able
like
to
to
pick
share.
up? Yes, yes, Neeta.
Yeah, till noon it was little taggy. What to write? That guilt was still there. Like, was that my mistake? No, I was just fighting with my own self. Then okay, I spoke with my husband. He also came. Okay, just come. I'll help you out. Then we sorted. We spoke half an hour, plus minus everything. Then in the evening when I was totally fresh, then I sat down and the points were like blessings were adding on. Oh, अच्छा ये अच्छा हुआ. इसके कारण ये अच्छा हुआ. So like at by 8 o'clock I finished like 13 points were coming and I was so happy like wow it was not my mistake, now it has become my blessings. So it was very nice
Lovely.
experience. Now that guilt feeling is gone actually. Feeling so fresh and lighter also. and it was in my dream list also. I want to become get rid of that load, and today
Lovely.
it has been fulfilled. So happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Lovely, Neeta. Lovely.
And one more
Very
sharing I
nice.
want to do,
Yes.
like from that heel of life. One
Hmm.
affirmation I took:
Hmm.
love is everywhere. I am loving and lovable. I
Yeah.
mostly pen down every day 10 times, and I keep chanting every day. And from past few days, I don't know how is that. In curry leaves also, I'm getting heart shaped curry leaves, small small one. I'm showing my kids, see heart shape. I said, Mama, kahan se aaya? I said, I don't know. Yesterday we were just sitting on the terrace, and there was a hole, and it was in heart shape. And I was preparing dokla. I was just stirring fry, and one piece was in heart shape. My husband saying, "Wow, heart shape ka dokla banai." I said, "I didn't make, but I don't know how it came, but it is for you. Okay, you just have it."
Right.
And yesterday, like my husband was preparing tea, so the lid he kept it off ulta on the slab. When I was just cleaning, I took that lap, and the milk which was split, it was in heart shape. I said, "What magic? I don't know." And what it is giving in information, I'm just blank. So, what is all this thing? Any information? What
I'll
it is?
I'll tell you, I'll tell you what's happening. एक वो emoticon आता है ना, with a smiley and two hearts. That
Yeah.
your face has become smiley and two hearts, and because the love has come into your eyes, you're seeing it everywhere.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's actually from within. And from a scientific perspective, if I were to tell you this, then in our brain, we have something called the reticular activating system. And the minute we activate that part and we start putting it into our subconscious, we begin to see the same thing everywhere. For example, and the easiest one to say is suppose you're planning to buy a car and you have decided to buy
अलार्म
say,
बजा कैसे नहीं
1 second, I'm
बंद
just
कर
going to
दिया था
mute
क्या
everyone. 1 second, yeah. So suppose you have decided to buy, say, a white colored some car, whichever car, and suddenly say Wagoner. Okay, so suddenly when you start driving on the road, you'll be surprised at the number of white colored Wagoners you'll begin to see around. So that's actually the activation of your reticular system. So whatever you have been feeding your subconscious brain, it begins to notice that more and more. And that's why we say the more you notice or the more positive you are thinking, you are bound to start noticing the good in people, the positive in people. And that's why it's about activating that system. So, for you, probably it's heart shaped things that are happening, but that's how it works. From a very scientific perspective, that's what is happening.
Yeah,
And I
mine is
love
blue
the
car.
line, yeah, Anita, I love the line you said right now from Heal Your Life. It's love is everywhere. I am lovable. Can you just repeat that?
Love is everywhere. I am loving and lovable.
I'm loving and lovable. And it's so relevant to what we're going to read today. So that's why I wanted you to just repeat that once on what that affirmation is. These are affirmations. For those of you who are not familiar with it, affirmations are sentences that you say to yourself every day. And by the power of belief, by the power of repetition, they begin to manifest or they begin to happen. Okay, so that's why Heal Your Life, that book. And Neeta, thank you again, once again, yesterday for posting both the books as soon as the group was over. That was really sweet of you to remember. I
Thank
think
you, thank you.
Minakshi had asked.
She again asked
Uh,
in the group.
yes, she had asked in the group. So thank you very much for you to remember and post it over there. And Heal Your Life is a book which is full of these affirmations, and it will teach you affirmations not just for on an everyday basis, which could be on your health, wealth, fitness, exercise, everything, relationships, all of that, but your body parts. It's completely focused on if you have an ailment in a particular body part, what is the psychological or the psychosomatic problem related to it, because Heal Your Life and Louis Hay's philosophy is completely that all the diseases are actually a part of your mind first, and then they manifest in your body. So what is it giving as an indication that says, say you're having a lot of headaches, so this is that's the body's way of saying that something you are thinking is not fitting well with you. So it is an indication to say that you are overthinking something, or you are having some kind of a contrast or a conflict when it comes to your thinking. So I'm just giving you an example. So different parts of the body signify different areas, and different problems. Like, for example, your lower back is related to money. So if you're having concerns about money, your lower back begins to pain a lot. Your throat pains a lot if you're holding back something. You've been wanting to say something to somebody and you're holding yourself back. And that's when your throat hurts. So every part of your body has got an indication to say something you need to fix in your life in order to feel better. And it's also got, and that's why the last 45-50 pages, even if you can't read the rest of the book, the last 45-50 pages are very, very important, because they give you an affirmation related to your body part, and that makes a lot of difference. It really makes a lot of difference when you look at it. And of course, a lot of these general affirmations, like what you said, that I'm lovable and I am loving, and there are so many of these affirmations that are there. So that's a lovely book. So it's a very, very good book, and there have been a lot of requests on reading that book together. So I am contemplating that as well. It's just that I haven't got myself around to doing it. Yes, thank you, Rakhi, thank you so much for that.
I,
Yeah.
And I,
before
Yeah.
3 days, my daughter is serving. She'll make different types of chapatis for my son also. Today I'll
Hmm.
make this shape, that make, and 3 days before she made a heart shape roti and another one star roti. I said again and heart. So it is like all contradicting coming.
Huh.
And you said white car, mine is blue car.
Yeah, good.
when I
So,
shared with
Vaishnavi, we are talking about, not Vaishnavi, I think this should be Shivani. We're talking about Heal Your Life, the book. And how do we control our subconscious mind? And that's exactly the point. We can't control our subconscious mind. The only thing we can do is feed it with the right information. We cannot control it. And that's why the magic rock is a very, very important exercise at night, because we are feeding the right information to our subconscious at night. And many a times, the answers that we get from the subconscious mind actually are the answers we are seeking. So, when we talk about silence, when we talk about vipassana, or when we talk about, being with ourselves, we are actually stopping the chatter of the conscious mind, the conscious monkey mind, which is very active with so many thoughts, with one thing to the next thing to the next thing. We are stopping or controlling ourselves over there. We can control our conscious mind, but we can't control our subconscious mind. And that is why when we stop the chatter through meditation or through vipassana or through silence, when we stop the chatter of the conscious mind, we allow the subconscious mind to speak. It's like saying, in a classroom, sometimes there are some children who are very intelligent, their answers are very deep, but they don't speak too much. They're introverts. They're not given too much of an opportunity to speak. And then the teacher says, now everybody will be quiet and only she will answer or only he will answer. And trust me, only when there is pin drop silence in the class, you can actually hear that person. And that's the way your subconscious mind speaks. Otherwise, we aren't even giving an opportunity to our subconscious mind to speak to us, because we're in constant chatter, either externally when we're verbalizing it or internally when we are thinking. It's only when we meditate that we get a little quiet, or it's only when we keep silence that we allow the chatter to stop. And that's when that intelligent, the knowing, the subconscious mind, which is actually more coming from more knowledge of just not this lifetime, but lifetimes together. And that subconscious mind is when it becomes verbal. Okay, so you can't stop your subconscious mind, but you can definitely do that. Yeah, so I have 3 sharings to go. Rakhi, would you like to share first? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday we had this homework, so I was a bit confused what
Oh.
to write. There are so many silly mistakes we keep on doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in early years of after getting married, that is, I can say before joining ladies college, my dialogue would always be, नहीं ये मेरी गलती तो नहीं थी. Circumstances were such, and so it happened. So yesterday when my husband returned, he said, आज का homework है, because even he watches this program daily with me early morning when he wakes up, and बोला नहीं आज एक्चुअली बहुत टफ हो रहा है. हाँ तेरे लिए तो टफ ही होगा, तूने कभी कुछ गलती की नहीं, लिखेगी कैसे अब. नहीं ऐसे नहीं है. आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू फोकस कि ऐसी कौन सी. नहीं नहीं, ये तो सही में बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम वाला होमवर्क दे दिया तेरे को, तू तो लिख ही नहीं पाएगी. इट वाज ऑल लाइक ना. एंड देन माय किड्स लाफिंग, यस मम्मा की कोई गलती नहीं होती. पापा आप अपनी कोई गलती के बारे में बोल दो जिसके बारे में मम्मा लिख सके. Very funny, but I at last I finished it, and he said, "Finally, you've done with it." And one more thing, the write up what Priyanka had put yesterday, it was
Yes.
really, really superb. I really liked it. So just
Lovely. It
wanted to
was
say about it.
beautiful.
And have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the emotions and the thoughts that are different.
Hmm.
So how do we control both together? It's not easy because कभी कहते हैं, मन कहता है ये सही है, लेकिन दिमाग कहता है नहीं ये तो ठीक है, don't do this and do this. So it's always I have that.
Right. So, Rakhi,
As
first,
Anita Di puts the two minds fighting like bulls.
absolutely, absolutely. So, first, I'd like you to rephrase and say not control, manage. Okay?
Manage. Okay.
Because we don't believe in controlling things, we believe in managing things. The
Okay.
minute you change the word and you make it from control to manage, तभी समझ आ जाता है कि चलो इसमें कोई solution है. Okay? The minute we say control, what happens is we say कि whatever will happen, one of them will be unhappy. अगर एक को कंट्रोल किया तो समथिंग एल्स विल बी अनहैप्पी. बट द मिनट वी से मैनेज, वी आर ट्राइंग टू लुक फॉर अ विन विन सिचुएशन कि ये भी हो जाए और वो भी हो जाए. राइट, दैट्स हाउ वी मैनेज थिंग्स. सो सबसे पहले ट्राई एंड चेंज योर लैंग्वेज एंड से हाउ डू आई मैनेज माई इमोशंस एंड हाउ डू आई मैनेज माई थॉट्स. Now, emotions again are expressions of your energy. Emotions are actually energy in motion, emotion. Okay, so look at it like that. So how, when you have an excess of a particular energy, you manage it, you don't control it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So now when you have a conflict, and this is a very very traditional conflict, let me say, because it's age old, the
Yeah.
conflict of the heart and the mind, because your mind is your thoughts and your heart is your emotions, right?
Yeah.
Now I'll say this, I'm a very logical person, I come more from my thinking capacity, so I will weigh the consequences, I will write down the pros and cons, and then I will do it. Okay, that's how I would typically work around any decision I have to make. But I'll also be very honest, a lot of my decisions in life have been very, how should I say, spontaneous. And they have been in a way that I have jumped into it first and then figured out my way. Okay, so I'll give you an example because there I have worked with an emotion. So when I started Nature Diaries 10 years ago, I came back from a morning walk and I woke up this friend of mine. She's actually more than a friend, and uski baat mein main kal subah has rahi thi because she said, Devi ji band karo, maun rat ka time ho raha hai. And she stays in Bangalore, and she's more than my sister, so we've grown up together, and it's a fascinating magical story in itself if I begin to tell you all that one day. So she was here, and she's a wildlife enthusiast, she's a wildlife photographer, she's a trekker, she's a complete outdoor person. So I came back and she was at my place in Chennai, and I told her, hey, get up. We just have to do this. So she said, okay. She calls me Akka, which in Kannada is sister. So she said, Ruchika, what are you saying? I said, no, I don't care. You just tell me one place where we can take the children. And she said, okay, in Masangudi, there's this lovely place called Jungle Retreat. And it's got dormitories and it's got very good activities. It's in the lap of nature. I said, done, let's do it. I did not bother about anything else. I just knew from my gut feeling that I wanted to do some educational activity with children outdoors. I just knew it. So sometimes it's your gut and you go with your gut. It's about how strongly you feel about that thing. Then, if you put too much of logic, because honestly, if I had put too much of logic in Nature Diaries, I would have never started it because it was not easy. I got a lot of resistance from my family, although they were not very vocal about it. But I knew my in laws were not very happy about it. My brother in law was very vocal about it. Didi is here on the call, so she can definitely say he was angry with us. He said, तुमको जितने वर्कशॉप्स करने हैं तुम यहाँ पे करो, दूसरों के बच्चों को कहीं बाहर वाली जगह लेके जाके इतना रिस्क लेकर ये क्या तरीका हुआ करने का, you know. So I'm telling you, it's not easy because and his intentions were right. I knew his intentions were not wrong at all, but that's the way it was. But it is because I have sometimes नहीं, many times, and I'm sure people who know me closely will say this, बहुत जिद्दी है. एक बार सुन लेती है और एक बार सोच लेती है तो करके ही रहती है. सो आई सेड नो मैटर व्हाट, अब ये कैंप तो हम करेंगे बिकॉज अब एक बार तो कर लिया है एंड यू नो वी आर एब्सोल्युटली ओके और वी आर गुड विद दैट. So I announced it, and instead of, we said 20 बच्चे भी हो जाएंगे कि चलो चलो we'll go, and Mysore के पास में है, ऐसा कोई बहुत दूर नहीं है, let's just do it. For the first time round, I had, as soon as I announced it, within about 3 or 4 days, we had a sign up of more than 50 people. And there was one thing that we said very clearly: I will not do more than 25 kids in one group. I will not do it. That is something that we took as a very conscious decision. So we did 2 camps back to back. And I'll tell you, and you know how it's relevant, because when the chapter comes up, I like to rope in the story. So I'll just continue a little bit more on this. It's that you have to be the one who takes that first step, and then the world supports you. So it was not easy. There was a lot of resistance, but somewhere I had that zid कि मुझे तो करना ही है. And then after my first 2 camps were over, and then there was a lot of goodwill. Kids came back very happy. Parents were extremely happy. Everything went fantastic. Touch wood, and everything for the past 10 years and 100 plus camps have just been going from fantastic to fantabulous, I would say. You know, it's only gotten better and better. So what happened was, after I came back, after my second camp, my third camp, I started getting more and more support from my in-laws, and they started telling me destinations that I can take children to. So, and then my brother-in-law started telling me ways in which we can scale up the business or we can do something more about it. So, खुद को पहले जिद पे अड़ना बहुत जरूरी है. So that first step, nobody can take it but yourself. And today it's about the magic mirror, and it is about loving yourself and believing in yourself. And वो जिद तो खुद को ही दिखानी पड़ती है. उसके बाद में the whole universe will conspire to make it happen. That I have complete faith in. After Nature Diaries, or for that matter, whatever I've done. But Nature Diaries, I think, was the most risk wala kaam, because everything else is in the safety of a conference room or in my center or whatever. तो कोई डरने वाली बात नहीं है. But this is something, and from there we moved on to do, and for a very long time I was skeptical about water activities. I didn't want to do activities, even if there was water around that destination. I would not allow the kids to go there. But bit by bit, my confidence grew, and then we've done 3 camps in Andamans with scuba diving. We do the skiing camp every year in Switzerland. So we've also grown from strength to strength. We've done river rafting in Rishikesh. So we've explored. We've really explored. And उसके बाद में एक family सा बन जाता है, कि ये बच्चे हर type आते हैं. Like Muskan, Guneet's daughter, has been on more than 10-12 camps with me. So it's like your family traveling together. So all I'm trying to say is, that first step you have to take. Sometimes you have to think it through. Sometimes you have to go with your gut feeling. So I can't really give you an answer to that because it is very situational.
But beautifully explains. Thankful to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rakhi. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Shreya was on that camp. Yes, Preeti is here. Shreya's daughter was on my first camp. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And that's why, Gauri, I started camps for women. And we did our first camp with Valley of Flowers. And it was a super hit. And I had Rinku and Guneet and all of them on that. And then we did, last year, we did Turkey. And I had loads of plans this year. But yes, we'll have it. We'll eventually have it. Yes, absolutely.
Even I'm getting the permission, you also can go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lovely. Yeah. So Suman, you wanted to share. Suraya ji, you wanted to share. Yes.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yes.
Okay, so I have two or three things to share. First, I want to continue with what my understanding is about Louis Hay.
Yeah.
So you know what I've like in my therapy we've learned, like it's, if it is a channel, if it is a pipe, okay,
Hmm.
and the water is flowing through the pipe, drainage pipe or any pipe, उसमें
Hmm.
जब कचरा फंस जाता है तो the water cannot flow continuously with lot of power.
Absolutely.
Similarly, our body, we are like pipes and we get continuous energy from the nature, from universe. But
Hmm.
if emotions get stuck in that pipe, we are not getting continuous supply of energy to all our organs and all our functional being,
Hmm.
emotional being. So that energy which is stuck, that gets removed through those affirmations.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that works very beautifully, and then you get continuous supply, and we can reheal ourselves, continuously. Our body has that capacity. So that is the way
And that's
her
the whole
philosophy works.
philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just a simple analogy to the whole thing,
Yeah.
what you were
Makes
explaining
sense.
so well.
Makes sense.
Secondly, what I realized with yesterday's exercise was that two exercises: one about forgiving the other person, and finding the blessings in that, and yesterday was about forgiving yourself and converting into it as a blessing. Was 100% shift to that lens that you're wearing for that incident or for the person or the relation. It was amazing. I loved the two things so much because it was like a eureka moment. Oh my god, with the way I'm looking at it and now what it is actually giving me and showing me was amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for that eye opener.
Thank you
And
so much. Thank you.
thirdly, what I want to say is, starting of the session, first or second day, I mean, I had a lot of hair problem. So, I had visualized that I want healthy hair. And I used to keep looking at myself with lovely, long and lustrous hair.
Hmm.
And after 3 or 4 days itself only, my sister-in-law called up and she said, my one friend's mom, during lockdown, she's tried to make this organic hair oil at home only with a lot of garlic and ye wo. Just try it out. I think it could be good. She's just sampling it out. I said, okay, chalo, let me try. Might be some kind of magic is going to happen, and it actually worked. I said, oh my God, my hair fall has come down to 90%, and I said, ये तो अमेजिंग है. मतलब मैंने उसको कुछ कहा नहीं, I'm having a hair problem or anything of that sort. वो अपने आप आके she's telling me and she's just saying try it out. So universe, you just say it and universe does everything to help you out with it. It is just
Absolutely.
excellent.
Absolutely. And this is exactly what even Neeta had said. Now it's your reticular activating system. It's getting activated. And whatever you desire, it's just going to start coming your way. There'll be some indication. It's again your universal cue, or it is a cue from the universe which tells you, acha chalo. But now you acted upon it. And that is very, very important, because just letting them be as dreams and desires, मुझे ये करना था, मुझे वो करना था, ऐसा होना था, वैसा होना था, and again I come back to it. Just 3% are action takers. So are you going to be in the top 3 of your class? And again and again and again, I keep saying that just so that I would love for the numbers to change. Definitely. But since we're coming towards the end of our classes now, and especially when we discuss this tomorrow, it is very important that we understand this. We understand that how much am I going to be committed to myself in order to do this. And you really don't need a morning 5:30 to 7:30 or 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You really don't need that. You've been shown the path, but now it is about you getting onto it. And that's extremely important. Extremely important. So universe is giving you a lot of chances, lot of cues, a lot of opportunities. Are you acting upon it? And today's chapter is also about and the way I see it and read it, and I say, what investment are you making in yourself? That is so important. And I'm not meaning it from a monetary point of view, but I'm meaning it from a point of view of my time, of my vibe check. If you remember what we had said in the Zen language, am I keeping a check on the people around me and their vibe? Some people we can't avoid. They're a part of our family, and there is a reason why they are there, and that's perfectly fine. But otherwise, am I protecting my vibe, or am I going in places where I am protecting my energy? What am I doing to invest that kind of self, or what am I doing in order to invest in my health, in my finances, in my career, my growth, my dreams, my desires? And I'm saying my, but it does not make me selfish, because it is very important, and it comes back to the same story. Apna ghada bhara nahi hoega, so you cannot spread it outside. So pehle apna ghada bharo. And today's lesson is totally about that. It's about first loving yourself, first making those investments in yourself. And even when you look at it as investments in terms of courses that you're doing, the learnings that you're going in for, please make those investments. It is very, very, very important. We do so much to take care of our, how we look and how our hair is, and our parlor visits and everything else. And we make sure we're wearing right clothes, we're wearing designer clothes or regular clothes, but our accessories are matched, and we make so much of an effort in doing everything for our outer body. But trust me, your inner self is what you need to make your maximum investment in. And that could be for your mind, your body, and your soul. So what are you doing for your mind, which is what are you learning? What are you doing for your body? How are you giving it the food, the energy, the fuel, the exercise? That's what you're doing for your body. And what are you doing for your soul? Your forgiveness, your gratitude, your meditation, your reading of scriptures, whatever they are, or listening to positive things, that's for your soul. So all your mind, body, and soul, make, I would say, 80% of your investment in that, and 20% of your investment in everything outside. So I at least keep that as a proportion. If I was to look at monetarily what I have invested in myself from the past 20 years, I would say I've at least invested 15 lakhs in terms of my learnings, in terms of my courses, in terms of my education. And that's why it never stops. So please, please, please make those investments. There are enough and more courses available right now, right? You go on to Coursera, you go on to Udemy. There's no right time or wrong time, but keep learning. And that's very, very important. Just sign up for some course, and they're like at throwaway prices. I can't even tell you, they are so cheap right now. You'll never get it this cheap in your life. So there are courses for 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, very, very cheap, and going from very good universities, and doing it at a self-paced way. So like everybody is dedicatedly been waking up every day in the mornings. So assign that 1 hour to yourself and say, I'm going to study. I'm going to learn something. Doesn't matter whether it is relevant to your work right now, not relevant. Anything that interests you, anything. It could be maybe flower arrangement from somewhere, or it could be anything, but keep learning. And those investments in yourself are extremely important, because the more you invest in yourself, the more you're going to love it. It's like how you keep beautifying your house. Every Diwali, you keep getting new curtains, you get new cushions, you change your outside. What about keep improving your inside? And this is about that. So I'm just trying to say everything that I would like to, link it to the magic mirror. I'm just saying that from there. Yeah, Coursera and Udemy have got lots of courses, multiple courses. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you what courses. Go on to the site and look for it and say, what is it that you would like? Okay. So Reyaji, we'll take your sharing and then we'll get started to reading. And Madhu, you can share afterwards. Yeah? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning, Ruchi. Good morning,
morning.
everyone.
Good morning.
I think yesterday was the most difficult assignment for me, because I think I was quite doing a lot of things throughout the day. And by the end of the day, it was the last thing which I did. And I think the only thing which came to my mind strongly was my father saying that uh, the biggest mistake you're doing in your life is getting married to a Muslim. So, so I think that's, I mean, I think it was just so natural for me to write that, saying that was the biggest mistake I made. But the things that came out of it was, yes, I think it was a great. I mean, I always knew that it's been a blessing for me, because first of all, I think the very fact that out of all we are 9 siblings, all of us, and in all the 9 siblings, I think the only person who didn't have a, the Hindus have the kundali where they write everything.
Right.
I was the only one who never had it for some reason. My mother said, "We never made one for you." So I said, "You see, that itself is that I have to be a." I'm the Islam is calling me, and I was meant to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
And I think I've had such wonderful kids and grandkids, and I think yes, it taught me how to be patient, and it made me strong. I know so many things then came up with it, but then I was just wondering, is that okay in that, or is, because I think I was just so blank by the end of the day, and I said, and the only thing which I could hear in my mind is my father saying that, and I thought, okay, maybe, I mean, at that not at that moment, I think somewhere in life I did think it was, but then it changed. So should I again write
Did
something,
you
or is it
write
okay?
it at night, last night? Did you write
Yes,
it?
yes, I did.
And
I
how
did.
did you feel after writing it?
Like I'm saying, I think I've been speaking aloud also to the kids, saying that when we talk about the relationship, at least I always tell them that, you know what, I think this really taught me this. And I think the most wonderful thing is you kids and your kids. So I'm wondering whether I've already been saying that.
You
So
have. Why are you doubting yourself?
so I've done my assignment, right? So it's just that, being a teacher, you want to say, oh, I want to do my assignment, I want to, be there. So
But
I just
write
want to
it
have that.
down.
I
I
i,
will
I
still
wrote it down.
ask. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Write it down. Write it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So where is, yeah, Vanita, you're ready to read? Yes. Yes. 1 second. So we'll take the sharings after the chapter. 1 second. All right. So I'm on the kids chapter. So let me just quickly go to this one.
Ruchi, as you're navigating, can I just say something 10 seconds before?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, so as many of you know, this is my second time with Ruchi, and I told her right from the beginning, I'll wait for this chapter to read, because last time she gave me the chance to read this, and I realized that I was finding it very uncomfortable to do this exercise. And after that course also, all of July, I was working on a lot of other things, like the magic steps. I do it, but I think I'm still fighting a demon with this, just to, love yourself fully. Like I always tell Rachna, like, amazing I feel when you say that. So I thought that I have to work on my weakness. So I waited for 27 days to do this, because this is my weak point, and I want to just do this chapter with you guys. So
and I want you to
fight it out.
Yeah, I want you to say, I am working on it and I'm getting better at it.
Yes. Right? Yes. Thank you. So we'll get started.
Yes, let's start. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Day 27, the magic mirror. The appearance of things changes according to the emotions, and thus we see magic and beauty in them, while the magic and beauty are really in ourselves. Khalil Gibran, poet and artist.
Yeah, so just 1 second, Vanita. So the appearance of things changes according to the emotions, and thus we see magic and beauty in them, while the magic and beauty are really in ourselves. So I did this as a very fun exercise with the kids when I was doing the class yesterday, and I told them to make funny faces, and I asked them all to smile into the camera, I asked them all to frown into the camera, I asked them all to get angry, I asked them to get sad, I asked them to make a grumpy face. And I just realized there was so much joy in doing that, because what I wanted to make them realize is the way you look at yourself in the mirror is how the mirror reflects back to us. And what that really means is that the emotion we carry with ourselves, which is coming from within, is what we begin to notice outside. So suddenly, if you see that everybody around you is very happy, it's not because suddenly everybody else has become happy, it's because you have become happy. If suddenly people around you are very angry and grumpy and irritated and whatever, that is also because you are reflecting that mood, and then it just keeps adding and adding and adding. So it's actually the appearance is within, and that's what really comes from within is what we see outside. And that's what I want you to hold in your thoughts lightly as we move along. Okay? Yeah, Vanita. You need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
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 You can spend the rest of your life running around trying to beat the outside world into the shape you want, chasing one problem after another, trying to fix them, complaining about situations or other people, and never succeed in living your life to the fullest and realizing all of your dreams. But when you make the magic of gratitude your way of life, everything in the world around you magically changes. Just like that. Your world magically changes because you changed. So, what you are attracting changed too.
Yes, so this is completely about yourself. This is completely about knowing that when you change yourself and when you make these little shifts within yourself, you'll begin to see those shifts outside. And a lot of y'all have been saying this, that now my husband's supporting me, my kids are better, my this is happening, my that is happening. All those environmental changes that you're becoming conscious about is actually happening because that shift has happened within you. And it is not because suddenly they've become better or they are making efforts from their side. Yes, they might be making efforts as well, but who's taken that first step? You have taken that first step. So this chapter is about giving 100% credit to yourself, and something that I keep telling you all every time I'm flooded with messages and people thank me and say, you know, you're doing such a wonderful job, you've helped me in this, you've helped me in that, my perspective has changed, I'm now feeling happier, lighter, everything. And I only turn around and say, first give gratitude to yourself, because who's made that effort? I have not come into your homes, and I have not woken you up at 5 o'clock, and I have not pushed you out of bed, I have not made you sit down in front of the camera or in front of your system. You have done that yourself. So this is about giving a lot of credit, and it's about giving a lot of pat to yourself on your back, because you've made it happen. Okay, so this is all about you. Yes. uh
In
Continue.
the in the inspirational words of Gandhi and in the lyrics of Michael Jackson's song Man in the Mirror, which impacted hundreds of millions, one of the most powerful messages of all time was delivered. Change the person in the mirror and your world will change.
Yeah, so and this is lovely, because also when I was speaking about it to the kids, more from an inspirational point of view, or more from a point of view where I wanted them to realize that they are the beacons of tomorrow and they have to carry forward so much more. And I made it more into an environmental shift in terms of, and they're already so aware. I have to give credit to the kids because of everything that's going on in school. Their awareness levels are so high. And when you talk about cleanliness, or you talk about saving resources, or when you talk about electricity, water, all of that, they are, because they've done it so many times, but it's now actually become a part of their cell. And it's amazing that when they understand these concepts so easily now. So when I spoke to them about Gandhi and his quote, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you want the world to be a cleaner space, start with your home, move on to your building, move on to your environment, and each of us,
6:25.
each of us make
Oh,
these.
value nahi hai तुझे.
Somebody is getting it royally in the morning, I think. And I don't think we want to be a part of that. So I'm just going to put everyone on mute for that. Yes. So be the change that you want to see in the world, and whatever changes that you want to see outside, it begins with you. And there's a lovely story of the turtle, and I don't remember whether I told you all this, but it's very relevant to this part, that there is a guy who's standing on the seashore, and there are some turtles which are all coming out, or baby turtles or something, and he's picking up one by one and he's throwing them back into the sea. And somebody passes by and he says, you know what, there are hundreds of them. How are you going to continue doing this? This is not possible at all. What difference will it make? And the man turns around and says, it will make a difference to that one turtle that I threw back into the ocean. So all that I picked up from that story is every small change is so important. So even if you think that maybe I'm not making such a big change, arey, what will happen? Mere ek ke karne se ho jayega kya? And that's a very typical dialogue that we say. Sab to karte hain. What happens? So what even if I do it? But if each of us now become very conscious about one small change that we want to make for ourselves and our environment, our people, whatever, that one change can happen like such a ripple effect. And I can't begin to even start to say this, that when we started this in July, and this is my 5th reading altogether, I was not even envisioning how many people will get connected. Connections will happen within the room, connections will happen with me, connections will happen in so many places. But every bit by bit, it has just grown. So if I would have just sat there and say 4 जन book पढ़ लेंगे तो और 4 जन positive हो जाएंगे तो पूरी दुनिया positive हो जाएगी क्या? That way it would have never changed. But today, look at it as a ripple effect, and each one of you has in some way or the other been sending me messages or verbalizing it here, that you'll either want to do the next session or you'll want to recommend the next session to more people. So we are just spreading, but you have to start with that one step. And this is what it says, that no matter what the cause is, big, small, large, thin, whatever it is, but that one change for one person's life in your one lifetime can be enough. So let's not really look at really big numbers. The big numbers will happen on their own. That's not our problem. But start with something small and it will happen. Okay. So be the change you want to see in the world. Yeah.
If you have followed the 26 magical practices to this point, you have changed. And even though it is sometimes hard to see the changes in yourself, you will have felt the change in your happiness, and you will have seen the change of improved circumstances in your life and the magical changes in the world around you. You have practiced the magical power of gratitude for your family and friends, for your work, money, and health, for your dreams, and even for the people you come across each day. But the person who deserves your gratitude more than anyone else is you.
Yeah, and I can't stop to even say how important this line is. The person who deserves your gratitude more than anyone else is you, because you are the one who's made it happen. Whether it is writing your magic check, whether it is writing your affirmations for your health, whether it is visualizing more and more good health coming to you, to your family, using a magic wand, for making that magic board, for everything that you have worked on. What is very relevant in the entire sentence is you, because nobody else has done it. You have done it. Okay. Now, when you're grateful, yes.
When you're grateful to be the person in the mirror, feelings of dissatisfaction, discontentment, disappointment, or I'm not good enough completely disappear. And with them, every dissatisfying, discontenting, and disappointing circumstance in your life magically disappears too. Negative feeling about yourself cause the greatest damage to your life because they are more powerful than any feelings you have about anything or anyone else. Wherever you go and whatever you do, you take those negative feelings with you in every moment, and those feelings taint everything you touch, and they act as a magnet, attracting more dissatisfaction, discontentment, and disappointment with everything you do.
Yes. So whatever you carry with you, when you are grateful to be the person in the mirror, feelings of dissatisfaction, discontentment, disappointment, or I'm not good enough completely disappear. And I think that one sentence is so relevant, or that one phrase is so relevant, because somewhere in our childhood, and we do this, when we do these forgiveness exercises, I think one of the most important exercises of that entire forgiveness part is forgiving your parents, because somewhere we hold some grudges against them, and we say that, this is what she did, or this is what he did, and I was never praised enough, I was constantly criticized, and we hold them. But this is all I have to say, parents do whatever they know best at that moment, because they never intend the wrong for us. Whatever best they know at that moment, they make a decision based on their understanding of life or of circumstances at that moment. And later, they may also grow in their journey, and they may get better and better. But at that moment, they make the first thing. But this sentence, or this feeling, I am not good enough, and my self esteem not being nurtured enough, is something which comes up in later on in life. And when I meet a lot of broken individuals, or when I meet a lot of individuals, one of the major fixes is on their self-esteem, because all their childhood, and then when they get married, and then they have more people to tell them, oh, you didn't do this well, you're so useless, you didn't do that right, you're so useless, this is not something you will never be able to do. And we hear and we say these things even in your anger. Please don't say these things to your child. Please pinpoint the behavior, get very specific, and say, I really love you, but I wish you were making your bed a little better. So you are making it very clear to your child two things: that I continue to love you, and two, this behavior of yours is not acceptable. And even when you praise the child, please praise the child specifically for that behavior, and give them the credit. For example, if it is a report card and they've done exceptionally well, instead of just saying, oh, you're so fabulous, I love you so much, you've done so well in your studies, turn that language around and say, I'm so proud of you, you put in so much effort, and see such good results you have got. So give credit not to the child, but to the effort the child has put in. So that makes a big shift, because this is a big debate when we talk about it in the parenting circles or in parenting workshops: how much praise to give, how much to criticize. It's not about how much, it is how you do it. So how am I going to praise my child? How am I going to criticize my child? Because we don't want them to feel that they are not good enough. But definitely, if there is a behavior of theirs that we want to rectify, we address the behavior, and we address the behavior very specifically. Even if it is 9 times out of 10, we still say 9 times you have kept your room messy, but give them credit for that one time that they did it right. Otherwise, we end up saying, and like, in NLP language, we say never, and never say forever. So what do you mean by that? You don't say, you never do this. And you'd never say, or again, I'm using the word never, but you also don't say, I will love you forever. Or this, we will be in this relationship forever. This will last forever. So you never say never, and you never say forever, because you open out the scope for more improvement to happen when you don't use these restricting words. So the reason I was saying the word never is, we end up saying, you never come on time, you're always doing this like this. So the words like never, always, now please be very careful when you use them. Do not use them loosely, because unless you have 100% proof to say that 100 out of 100 times the person has come late, or 100 out of 100 times the food has not been appreciated, unless you have 100% proof, do not use the words never or always, because then you are giving some scope for improvement over there. So this whole feeling of I'm not good enough comes somewhere from what we have been constantly hearing. And the only reason I brought it in is because a lot of us are parents here. So what can I do to ensure it doesn't carry on in my language towards my kids. And negative feelings about yourself cause the greatest damage to your life because they are more powerful than any feelings you have about anything or anyone else. Wherever you go and whatever you do, you take those negative feelings with you in every moment, and those feelings taint everything you touch and they act as a magnet. Now, I can only visualize when you go to a party, okay, and we've not gone to a party for a very long time, but recall a party and you will know there are some people around whom everybody wants to go and meet and hug and talk and share and everything. And there are some people that repel you. So if we look at it from a magnetic physical physics language, some people attract you and some people repel you. So what is this attraction? Your positivity and your vibe that you are giving out attracts people around you. And then there are some people who are so negative, who will only complain, ये ठीक नहीं है, parking नहीं मिली, चाबी उसने ऐसे रख दी, गाड़ी ठीक से रखा नहीं, जब मैं अंदर आ रही थी लिफ्ट तो मैं जैसे ही पहुंची और लिफ्ट चली गई. तो उनके साथ होती भी ये बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. It just keeps happening more and more with such people. Otherwise, if you take it easy and you say everything is going with the flow, everything is fine, and then you'll see that these are the kind of people who you get attracted to. So now you have to think, what kind of a magnet do I want to be? Do I want to be somebody who walks into the party and people want to talk to? Or do I want to be a person who walks into a party and people want to avoid, And that is what you have to say. You carry those feelings everywhere you go, and they act as a magnet, attracting more dissatisfaction, more discontentment. One second, yeah, and disappointment with everything you do. When you're grateful to be you, yes.
When you're grateful to be you, you will only attract circumstances that make you feel even better about yourself. You have to be rich with good feelings about yourself to bring the riches of life to you. Gratitude for yourself enriches you. Whoever has gratitude for themselves will be given more, and he or she will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude for themselves, even what he or she has will be taken from him or her.
Yeah, and we come back to the same phrase and sentence that we've been hearing over and over and over again. So whoever has gratitude for themselves will be given more, and he or she will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude for themselves, even what he or she has will be taken away from him. So this is all about loving yourself and being grateful for who you are. When you're grateful to be you, you will only attract circumstances that make you feel even better about yourself. And you will end up finding more and more things which will help you improve. And there will be either and that's where your cues start coming in. The universe starts seeing. I was seeing in the chat box about courses that people have written that they're available on Udemy and Coursera and all these, and Unlearning and different platforms. And you will now realize that you are now ready to learn more. So whatever you are in a state of mind, you will attract more and more of that. Okay. To do the magic mirror practice, yes.
To do the magic mirror practice, go to a mirror right now, look directly at the person in the mirror, and out loud say the magic words, thank you, with all your heart. Mean it more than you ever have before. Say thank you for being you. Say thank you for everything that you are. Say thank you with at least the same amount of feeling you've used for everything and everyone else. Be grateful for you just as you are.
Yes, so now this is a practice that you will have to do today. And this can be a little uncomfortable, like Vanita mentioned already, because you don't just look at the mirror the way you look at the mirror every day. You're going to look into your eyes today and you are going to say thank you. You will take your name and you will say thank you. Say thank you, Ruchi, for being yourself. Thank you, Ruchi, for constantly wanting to learn more and more. Thank you, Ruchi, for making your breakfast in time every day. Thank you, Ruchi, for waking up at 5 and getting ready and coming down for a class. Everything that you think you are doing, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to say thank you. And I will tell you also where else and when else you can use this exercise. Today, of course, you're going to do it for yourself first thing in the morning, and we're going to practice a little something on Zoom right now, which I did with the kids, and I think it was quite a hit. So we're going to do that as well right now. But we're going to step out of our comfort zone, and we're going to look into our own eyes, and we're going to say thank you to the person in the mirror. Okay, and we're going to do that. Yes. Continue with the magic mirror.
Continue with the magic mirror practice by being grateful to that beautiful person in the mirror for the rest of the day today, and say the magic words, thank you. Every time you look at yourself in a mirror, if you're not in a position to say the magic words out loud at any particular time, then you can say them in your mind. But if you're really brave, you can look in the magic mirror and say 3 things about yourself that you're grateful for. If for any reason in the future you're not being kind to yourself, you will know to give to the one person who deserves your gratitude more than anyone else, the person in the mirror. When you're grateful, you don't blame yourself when you make a mistake. When you're grateful, you don't criticize yourself when you're not perfect. When you're grateful for being you, you're happy, and you will become a magnet to happy people, happy situations, and magical circumstances, which will surround you wherever you go and in whatever you do. When you can see the magic in that person in the mirror, your whole world will change.
Thank you, Vanita. Just 1 second, and then you can read the last part. So, if for any reason, and what you're going to do today is every time you pass a mirror in the day, and now your reticular activating system will make you notice how many times you look at yourself in the mirror, okay? And it is not vanity, it is not being narcissist, and I will come to that also in a little while, because that was a very interesting debate I had when I did this session with the 16 to 24-year-olds. Right now I have babies with me, so they don't even understand these terms, but the 16 to 24-year-olds, I had a fantastic, not a debate, but a discussion on what is narcissism, and are we getting narcissistic if we are talking so much about ourselves. And I'll come to that in just a minute. But being grateful, what are you going to do today? Every time you look at yourself in the mirror today, you will say the magic words and say 3 things that you are grateful for to yourself. And it could be something related to your physical appearance. It could be something related to what you do as a cooking skill or any of your work related skills. It could be something as simple as you wanting to bring about a change in yourself. Any 3 things, but you're going to say 3 things that you're grateful for, and you're going to do that with yourself as a part of the mirror, okay? And you're going to do that in the mirror today. If for any reason in the future you're not being kind to yourself, you will know to give to the one person who deserves your gratitude more than anyone else, and that person is the person in the mirror. Now, how are you going to do this? This is something which a lot of professionals and also public speakers, or people who are in this entertainment industry as well, where they have to really do a lot of talking to people, or they have to do a lot of interactions with people, or sports people when they're getting into a competition, or an artist before they're going to perform on a stage. They have what they call a self-talk. And what is this self-talk? They look at themselves in the mirror, or if they can't do that in a mirror, but they visualize that they're standing in front of the mirror and they are telling themselves, oh, you know what, Ruchi, you're really good at what you're doing. And I'll tell you, when I did this, and I confessed it with the kids, when I was doing it for the 16-year-olds, the first batch, I told them, when I did this magic mirror exercise, I told them that I was nervous because this is an age group which can backfire at you. And they can just turn around and say, what nonsense are you talking? You really want us to believe all this nonsense? It's quite possible, and I did this talk to myself. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Ruchi, you're really good with kids. You really connect with them. You're patient. You understand them. You're okay to pardon their language, because you're not so stuck up if they're using some language which can be a little colorful. So you enjoy being with kids. And when I told these things to myself in the mirror, I think I walked down with so much more confidence to take the class. So anytime you have this kind of an engagement, and you have to perform, or you have to speak, or you have to do any of these things which can be challenging, which is going to make you get out of your comfort zone. Maybe it is a new dish you're trying in the kitchen and you've never tried it. The whole big burden that you can never make it like my mom makes it, or you can never make it like my grandmom makes it, or any of that. You walk in with that attitude which says, oh, you know what, I can't say this for myself, so I'll have to take somebody else's name here, because for the life of me I can't get this right. So it could be somebody like, okay, let me take Neeta's example, because that's fresh in my mind. So Neeta, you're so good at it, you're so good at cooking, you get your sweets so well, you get them right. And when you make this besan ke laddu, or was it Mysore pak? I get confused, because ultimately it was the same thing that you said. But the way I make it is so good, and you will definitely get the recipe right when you do this magic mirror exercise, even before something like what you want to do in your kitchen, but you are stretching yourself and you're getting out of your comfort zone. You will see the way you perform, and there will be a big difference when you do that. So whenever you have something like this coming up, please do this magic mirror exercise and be very kind to yourself. You've come a long way. Okay, you've come 21 days every single morning. So you deserve that kindness to yourself before you do it for anything or anyone else. Okay. And when you're grateful, you don't blame yourself when you make a mistake. When you're grateful, you don't criticize yourself when you're not perfect. When you're grateful for being you, you are happy. Happy people attract or become a magnet to more happy people, happy situations, magical circumstances, which will surround you and go with you wherever you go or whatever you do. Remember, these last 6 practices is about making the magic portable. So wherever you go, you will be that magnet who attracts so much happiness and so much positivity around you. So this exercise is about first loving the person in the mirror, and from there taking it. And it's my favorite part when I talk about Kareena Kapoor and Jab We Met, and her whole character in it, and how she says मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, and how she is so excited to be herself. And she tells, and that's my most favorite part in the movie, when she tells Shahid Kapoor, just imagine, shayad मैं भी तुमको मिल जाती, that you would be so lucky that someone as great as me might also have fallen in love with you. So, and the same Kareena Kapoor's character, when we look at Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, and she acts like Pooh, that really hotty totty and hoity thing. I think that was a very narcissist character, where she is so much in love with herself, and she's throwing her weight around and her attitude around. And the same Kareena Kapoor in Jab We Met is so in love with herself and her positivity that she can just spread it around for everyone. That whole the whole train wala scene where she's talking to that TT, and he's saying बेचारे के साथ बहुत धोखा हुआ है, उसको पता नहीं है वो कहाँ जा रहा है, and she's going on talking, and then she tells, आप समझ गए कि अभी मैं और बोलूं, and says नहीं अब मुझे समझ आ गया, you leave me alone. So it's how she brings that positivity not just for herself, but it's coming from within, and how she spreads it around to everyone there, and that's how I would say Kareena Kapoor in Pooh, as Pooh, is very narcissist and very selfish and self-centered and all about herself. Kareena Kapoor in Jab We Met, and I would say, is so much about being positive and spreading that cheer around and that happiness around and that joy around the way she does it. So that, I would say, is the difference between self-obsession and self-love. And this is about self-love. It's not about self-obsession. So there is a thin line. I completely agree with that. But this is about self-care, self-love, and loving yourself before you love anyone, anything, anybody around you. It's first about yourself. And that's not self-obsession. That is self-care. and that is very, very, very important. Okay, so I hope, like last time what we had done was, of course, we had made these little pictures and we had taken those pictures and we had said मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, and it had come from that dialogue. And I would love to see you all do that today as well. You know, dress up and wear your prettiest dressed outfit, and the biggest thing you can wear for yourself is your smile. And with that smile, you're going to take a selfie today and you're going to say मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, I am my own favorite. Okay, and that's your assignment for today, and you will all do that. And I'm going to keep the group open, so let it buzz with pictures. But please, my humble request, and you guys have been fantastic, I have to tell you this, you'll have been so good with it. No forwards and none of those extra talk, you know, and I loved it. I'm just going to take a little moment here and I'm going to thank Pushpaji, because you know the message you wrote yesterday, Pushpaji, in the group, and I think it is in one of the groups and not in the other group, so I'll just copy paste it and put it there. But what really struck out to me in that message was how everybody has been helping each other. And that comfort level has come in where we are supporting each other. And when somebody is feeling, I don't know why this is not going right in my life, everybody around has been said, don't worry, this will work out. Try it like this. If you do it this way, it will work out. We're all there to support you. And I think that's exactly the kind of support that we want from each other. And that is what is happening in the mornings. That is what is happening in the groups. And I think that is a beautiful energy shift that we have created, because we are giving that love only because we are feeling that love. And that love you feel for yourself is what this is all about. Okay. Yeah, Vanita, the last part. Magic practice.
Magic practice number 27, the magic mirror. Count your blessings, make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful, reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. Each time you look at yourself in a mirror today, say thank you and mean it more than you ever have before. If you're really brave, while looking in the mirror, say 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. And when you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you for the best thing that happened during the day.
Yeah. So count your blessings. Thank you so much, Vanita, for reading that for us. Thank you very much. Count your blessings, make a list of 10 blessings, and write why you're grateful, reread your list. And at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can each time you look at yourself in a mirror today. And let's see how that reticular activating system works and how many times you end up seeing yourself in the mirror today. Say thank you and mean it more than ever before. If you're really brave, while looking in the mirror, say 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. And I love the way she knows that we will be uncomfortable, and that's why she's used the word if you're really brave. And I know each one of you, all 91 of you, are brave souls, because you've handled me for 21 days and you've been listening to me so religiously every single day. So you guys are really brave. Ask my husband and he'll give you a very different story right away. So it's a lot of bravery. And so look at yourself and say 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. And it can be 3 any things, you know, right from your cooking to your career to your relationships, to the money you're attracting, to the exercises you have been religiously doing every single day for 27 days. So say 3 things that you're grateful to about yourself. Waking up every morning without an alarm clock, all these are things that you have to thank yourself for. And just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the best thing, magic words. Thank you for the best thing that happened during the day. Okay, so I'm going to stop this share. And even before I try and read what is there on the chat box, I'm going to ask you all to do this exercise first. Okay, so I'm going to ask everybody to just make sure I'll mute everyone, because I don't want anyone to say this out loud. And I want you to look into the camera, okay? And look at yourself, look into your eyes. Look into your eyes. And guys whose cameras are not switched on, I hope you're just doing this. You're adults, so I'm not going to tell you switch on your camera, don't keep your camera switched off. I'm not going to do that. But if you're brave, you will switch on your cameras. So now let's see how many people are brave. Thank you, Gauri, for that act of bravery. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep your cameras on. Doesn't matter who's at the back, who's on the side. As long as you're not sleeping and in bed, just keep your cameras on, and that's good enough. Now look into the mirror, or when I say mirror, I'm saying the camera. Look into the camera and look into your own eyes. And I want you to look at yourself at least for the next 20 seconds. Just keep looking at your own face, okay? And give yourself a big, big smile. Look at yourself. Look at yourself like you're looking at yourself the first time after a very long time, okay? Look at yourself and smile at yourself. Give it your gorgeous smile. There's nothing that you deserve more than a big smile for yourself, okay? And then you don't have to verbalize it. If you don't feel like verbalizing it, I completely understand that. But take your right hand, keep it at your heart, and you're going to do it with the heart magic, because I want it to come straight from your heart, okay? Straight, straight, straight from your heart. And look at yourself and say thank you, and love yourself and say thank you so much for this. And say whatever you feel like. I'm getting goosebumps even when I'm saying this, so I don't know how y'all are feeling, but I'm really getting the goosebumps. But just say thank you. Priya, don't worry about it, I'll admit everyone. Just continue with the exercise, okay? So look at yourself and say thank you. Take your name. Your name is the sweetest word to yourself. Thank you so much, okay? And one thing that you're grateful for, one thing, any one thing. Look at yourself and say thank you, right? Gauri, big hug to you. Big hug to you. Yeah? Spend a moment, just look at yourself. Look at yourself and say you're a lovely person. Take your name and say thank you for being you, right? And I'm very sure that given another opportunity, given another lifetime, and when somebody asks you, who would you like to be born again as? I always say myself, because I've worked so much.
Yes, my daughter also.
Same thing happened to me.
1 second. I don't know how that just keeps changing, but all right. Right? So tell yourself that thank you for being you, and take your name and say the thank you. Take the name and look at yourself and say the thank you. Yes. So thank you for doing this exercise, because I think it was very important. Very, very, very important. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. We are warriors. Jhansi ki Rani hai. Okay, I think the women as a group empower each other. Yes, absolutely. We are brave. Can I share? Yes, 1 second. That's a good statement. This group passes my vibe check. For this dialogue, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ. 1 second. Yeah, absolutely. Feeling overwhelmed listening to it. Eyes have become moist. Don't know how I will do it, but yes, you have done it. Yeah.
Ruchi, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it just me still, or when you say look at your eyes and look at the mirror, I feel as if I'm talking to a stranger, even though it's me. Does it happen to?
Maybe others have felt it too. I don't know, and that's why you need to increase your self-talk, right? And that's why this exercise. So look at yourself. Get comfortable looking at yourself. That's it. Get comfortable. And bit by bit, I'm sure you are better than what you were earlier. Are you, Vanita?
Yeah, I am. It just feels like, oh, I'm talking to someone else. Just thought it feels like, because I think I don't give enough gratitude to myself.
Yeah, and also because somewhere we have been somewhere as a part of our culture, or as a part of our childhood, or all of that, as women, we have been told to keep everybody else above us. So first you're a daughter, then you are, you get married, you become a wife, then you become a mother, then you're a sister, you're a sister-in-law, you're a co-sister, then you become a mother-in-law, you become a grandmom, you become all these things. So somewhere in our society, uh, you you're conditioned to say as women, you have to give, 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 give. But after a point, if your bank balance is going to be zero, what are you going to give? You will end up taking more. So, this is actually something that we also do in another exercise. It's in the 7 habits where we talk about an emotional bank balance. Okay. And it says, how do I first increase my emotional bank balance? Because we are constantly doing withdrawals without any deposits. So how do you do withdrawals without deposits? Not possible. Not going to happen. After a point, your bank wala will say, "बस हो गया, खत्म, खाता बंद करो अब, कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे, है ना?" So that's what it is. So now, how do I make those deposits for myself consistently? That is very, very important. And it's the same thing as filling up my pot before I can start distributing water to other people. Yes. So
Can I
today
share?
all
Can I
about
share, Ruchi?
yes, yeah, just 1 second and then I will so sweet, Priyanka. I've never blushed so much seeing myself. So cute. Yeah, okay, Shilpa, you wanted to share something, so we'll start from there and then we'll go. Yeah, so whoever wants to share, please write in the chat box. But I'm just explaining today's exercise because it's 7 o'clock, and if anyone wants to leave, I completely understand. So you will look at the mirror. One time I have made you do it right now, but the rest of the time you will do it, and you will talk to your mirror and you'll give your gratitude for three things for yourself. And you guys are brave. You can do it. If you can do it on camera right now, you can definitely do it in your bathroom mirror. You can do it in your hall mirror. You can do it in any mirror. So you will look at yourself and you will say 3 things you're grateful for. And you're going to dress up today. All right. And that's so important. You are going to dress up today, and I'm going to leave the group open, say maybe around 11ish. And then you're going to start putting pictures, pretty selfies of yourself with it written on it, "Main apni favorite hu." And I remember the pictures you all took last time. So people who are repeating will not copy paste and send the same picture again. I'm warning you, because I'm going to go back. I'm warning you. I'm not going to use any other language but a teacher's language, because you might have left the magical resources group. I am still on it. And I will make the effort to go and cross check. Is it the same picture or are you putting another picture? So make that effort of dressing up well. Okay. Wear your red lipstick, comb your hair, make your hair, visit a parlor if you need to, but pamper yourself. Today is all about you. And there's a reason why I think she brings it so late in the book, is because otherwise, maybe it would have been narcissistic. But now this is more about self love. Okay, so today it is all about you. It's your day to get pampered totally. Okay, so I want all of y'all to go ahead and do that. Yeah. Shilpa, would you like to share?
Yeah, hi,
Yeah.
good morning, Ruchi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ruchi, I just want to share this wonderful experience
Yes.
that I had day
Yes.
before. So I have been teaching since a lot many years, but I haven't really done my B.Ed. I have been teaching from home. And
Hmm.
I've always wanted to do my B.Ed, because of my own constraints, probably I didn't get myself to do it. This
Right.
year also, I didn't fill the form.
Right.
But on my wish list, I had put this thing.
Hmm.
And day before, it was the most magical thing that the CET entrance, which normally is done within July, opened just for 2 days.
Hmm.
The thing, and a friend whom I've not met since 1.5 years just sent me this thing without even knowing I wanted to do it. I
Lovely.
got this message
Lovely.
and I logged in, I filled in the form, and I got it on the second day. I started filling the form at 7 p.m. thinking that it's just a form, 1 घंटे में हो जाएगा. At 5 to 12 or till 3 to 12, because of so many technical glitches और पता नहीं क्या क्या हो रहा था, I was not able to do it. 12 o'clock was the deadline, and I think just 2 or 3 minutes before 12, form upload hua, the payment
Lovely.
went,
Lovely.
and it was such a beautiful feeling. That's something maybe that I wanted to do, and I kept wondering, am I meant to do it or no? Ho raha nahi hai. But yes, that feeling was wonderful, and I wanted to share this with this forum. So
Lovely.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so
thank you
much,
so much.
Shilpa. Thank you. Lovely. And all the very best for your B.Ed.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sure it'll work out well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Yes, yes. Yeah, Suraya ji, you'd like to go ahead. And then Madhu, I remember you wanted to share. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Ruchi, I just want to share this uh, experience what I had with my own sister, of course, and of a lot of my friends too. When I started getting these white patches on my face, I think they used to always say, "Oh, you have to camouflage like this, you have to do this, you have to put makeup like that," which I did for a while, and then after some time, I said, "No, but this is not me." I've always told people, love yourself the way you
Yeah,
are, be
lovely.
yourself. I mean, it's not. And then by the end of it, I think one day when and I used to pick up my sister and drop her from class, and then when I stopped, then I completely stopped doing anything, and I was just. I mean, I'm very very comfortable with my just a little bit of eyebrows, and I love my lipstick, and when she said, "You know what, you have to," I said, "Look, can you just let me be? I love myself as I am. So can you just
Lovely.
let me be? I cannot please everyone. I have to first learn to please myself. And I know that I love myself the way I am. And I remember my son, I think somewhere my son thought that it was in my mind because I was doing all the makeup, shook up and all that. And then he kept sending me this wonderful pictures of a model who was the fifth leading a model in the world, and how she had patches all over her body, but she exposed her body and modeled with her body. And I said, and that's when I said, no, it's not as though I don't like myself. I think I'm just trying to please others and trying to, say that, oh, at least they are comfortable looking at me. And then I said, no, this is not me. I'm going to walk my talk. And I just stopped doing everything after that. So I said, for me, Ruchi, touchwood, it comes very naturally to love myself. It really comes because I feel like that's what I've been telling
Speaking
everyone.
about
Yes,
also, yeah,
yes, yes.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So
And you
it's,
will feel very uncomfortable. And I can understand that because if you're preaching something and
yeah,
you're practicing something else, people
yeah,
will also immediately say, हाँ चलो भाई अपने लिए तो कुछ कर नहीं सकती और दुनिया भर को ज्ञान बांटने के लिए तैयार है. So that
yeah.
people will not even take you seriously. So nice.
Yes, and I think after that I know a lot of people who've said, you know what, we see you, but we never see your patches. We only see you. So I think that's what it's all about. It's about how confident you are about yourself and
Absolutely.
how good you're feeling about yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes through the whole world.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that.
Lovely, lovely. And it's so important, because in this day and time of body shaming and of this constant thing of being a particular figure or being a particular way and your hair in a way and whatever. And I'm not taking that away. I'm not saying that's not important. Of course, it's important. It's very important to be a well groomed person. I believe in it myself. You
Yeah.
cannot be not taking care because it also shows how committed you are to yourself. If you are not committed to the way you look and the way you feel, and today is not about just the internal but it's also the external, and so many people have told me that they're going to go to the parlor today and they're going to get an eyebrow done. Absolutely, ladies, indulge, please do that, okay? But also know that that inner beauty is very very important. So it's absolutely a balance between the two. Both are extremely important,
And,
right?
and
That's
another thing I wanted to share, Ruchi, is I remember Dr. Krishna Raman when my patches had just started, and I started saying, no, I'm going to this doctor, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. The only thing he told me is, you know what, Suraya, with all the things you're going through in your life, I think you're a very positive person, and you've been teaching a lot, and everything is there, but your body is saying, look, you can say what you want, you can do what you want, but I will show the world that you're going through something, some stress in your life, and it's
yes.
going to come up the way the whatever way it's going to.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I think it never, really didn't register.
Right.
But then I said, yeah, I think I love to show the world, yes, I'm a human being. I'm just very normal. and there are things
And
where
it's
I'm handling very well, and I don't care if it's showing in this way. So
yeah.
I like what I'm seeing. So and that's another thing I wanted to share, saying that
So
stress is very common, and we should know how to manage it. I
manage.
think that's how
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you. Thank you
you.
so much. Yes, and
Soraya,
so
we
true,
love you the
Suman.
way you are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Suman, so true, and that's so true. And it was a story of the Indian crab, and how the Indian crabs are so dangerous and so poisonous. But in an exhibition, all the crabs have lids on them from various countries except the Indian one. And they asked that why is it that the Indian crabs, the lid has been left out. They said koi problem nahi hai ji, ye when one crab is trying to come out of the lid, there's somebody to pull it down, so nobody comes out. But and this exactly where you say the vibe is so different here, where we appreciate each other's faults, our vulnerabilities, our fears, our shortcomings, and it's so true. So thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, Madhu and Jyoti, we love to hear you, so please hang on there. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so true, Anjali. We can either be the heroines or we can be the victims. The choice is ours. Madhu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Ruchi, I mean, to start off from something that I wanted to share yesterday itself. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. Good morning to everybody. And I just loved the poem what Priyanka had written, though I couldn't acknowledge in the group yesterday because I was part of a workshop in the night, so I just couldn't do that. And yeah, something that I wanted to share yesterday was it what Rachna had advised me or suggested me to do, the thing between my kids and me, my son and this. And so I did that, asking of help and doing a teamwork. It did take a lot of efforts because I had to put my ego down, and being the mom, the adult, usually we are that ki you do it because I say so, usse nikal ke you just do it. तो वो थोड़ा सा difficult रहा, but किया मैंने. So that is something that, a lot of load from my mind, because as I said, I couldn't sleep the previous night. I had mentioned it that मैंने जल्दी उठा, and I was introspecting myself that what has gone wrong. And I just finished that. I couldn't do it with my husband. Of course, with both my kids, I did. And yesterday, I heard my husband saying the same line again. So, Ruchi, this thing what we learned in today's chapter about happiness, that when you see the change in happiness in yourself after you do all these things. So,
Hmm.
that definitely I'm saying I am kind of feeling in a state of bliss always.
Hmm.
But how is it that surrounding people, my family members, my own husband, my children, why is it that, and that too after 27 days of doing this, if I get to hear this, it is hurting. It is, see, as you said ki usi mein the truth is coming out, and even though they are criticizing, or they are showing you the mirror, that is what the word you used that day. So I agree to it totally. But where is it that I'm lacking? What is it that I'm doing wrong? Or what is it that I have to do more so that it has been shown outside? कहाँ पे वो क्या होता है? मेरे को ऐसे लगता है कि even the exam time I'm trying myself best to pass out the exam after you said. I give a check. I stop for a minute. This is my exam time. This is my exam time. But when it came yesterday from my husband, again it was like, अरे यार, कल तो मैंने बच्चों के साथ किया, आज इनके साथ करूंगी. So I want to know, one is that, and second thing I would want to
I
say
got
is,
your question. Yes, I got your question, Madhu. So let me ask
okay,
you this.
one
Yeah, sure.
एक दो चीजें और पूछनी है. मैं अभी पूछूं या आपके आंसर के बाद पूछूं?
After a while, and if in case it gets a lot more, then because it's 7:12 already, send me a text and we'll figure it out. Okay, so we can do that
Okay,
as
this
well.
is this is relating today's question. Maybe it'll answer other people's doubt also.
Yes, yes.
Today's
So,
chapter
Madhu, let's just wait
about
with this. Let's just answer. Let's just figure out your first part first, and
fine,
then we
fine,
will
fine.
go to
Yeah.
Jyoti's sharing, and we'll come back to you. Okay? So let's
Sure,
do it
sure,
like
sure,
that.
sure,
So
sure.
first, let me tell you this that जब हम फास्ट फूड के ज़माने की बात करते हैं और हम शॉर्टकट्स और लैक ऑफ शॉर्ट अटेंशन स्पैन और इन सब की बातें करते हैं अपने बच्चों के लिए, let me tell you, it has crept into the adult's life also so much that we want instant results.
True.
Okay, 21 days is a very small time when you compare it to 21, 22 years that you have been in a particular way. Can you see the difference?
Yes, yes.
21 days is a very small time. ये कोई crash course डाइट प्लान नहीं है, ये कोई हफ्ते भर का डाइट प्लान नहीं है कि आप 7 दिन में आओ और 3 kg वेट लूज करके चले जाओ, और आपको भी पता है कि वो हफ्ते भर का डाइट खत्म होते ही कितनी जल्दी वो वेट वापस आ जाता है. So these are not crash course diets. That is why 7 days, 21 days are very small when we look at the kind of changes we want in ourselves. Understand the magnitude of the change you want and compare it to the time that has gone into investing in it. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, Ruchi. Yes,
So
yes.
21, and like I said in the start, I'm doing it for the 5th time. There are people here who are doing it for the 2nd time, people who are doing it for the 3rd time, and they are still learning. So it says 21 days to make a habit, 90 days to make it a lifestyle, and a lifetime to remain with you. Do you get that?
Got it.
So
Yes,
it is
yes, yes.
very small
Very much
a
okay.
time that you are judging and saying कि मेरा environment क्यों नहीं change हो रहा है भाई, मैं तो 21 दिनों से ये काम कर रही हूँ और मेरे में इतने changes आ रहे हैं, मैं ये कर रही हूँ, मैं वो कर रही हूँ, लोग क्यों नहीं देख रहे हैं. 21 days is too short a time. Too short
Okay.
a time
Okay.
to think of that. And the reason I'm telling you is for considering the way we have been for years together, right?
Makes
Sometimes
sense.
you have parts of your body where you lose weight instantly.
Yes,
Some places you have stubborn fat.
yes, yes,
My
yes.
cheeks, for example, no matter what I do, I
We love it. We love it, Ruchi. मत reduce करो उसको.
We
yeah,
love
but
that.
when I have to think of it, I can say there's stubborn fat. So some parts of us are stubborn fat, and they take a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. And you know what you have to be very sincere about? Don't wait to see those changes around you. Don't wait for people to tell you, Are wow, you are now changed. Like they
No,
say,
that is not at all my thing that I'm waiting
yes,
for appreciation
yeah.
or waiting for
But
them to say.
just like you're
But
getting
I
rejected,
just I want to know if I'm doing anything wrong. That is where is my
you
concern
are
because
just
I'm very
expecting
dedicatedly doing.
results too soon.
Okay, I get that. I get that.
That is what is important. You're expecting results too soon for the simple reason that a lot has gone into making you the way you are. There's a lot of unlearning that has to happen, and then the relearning that has to happen, you know. और जैसे बोलते हैं ना, चिकने घड़े पे पानी नहीं चढ़ता, तो पहले वो
Right.
चिकनाई हटानी पड़ेगी, and उसमें बहुत time लगता है. So we are looking at 21 days as a very short, very short span for any kind of a change. Any kind of a change. It's too short. Sometimes you take a lifetime to make that change. But you know what happens over here? When you say, that's my goal, and that's how I want to die. So when I die, I want
Yes.
people to say this about me. And therefore, this is what I start working on. And this is how I start living my day to day. And I'm not going to wait for people to turn around and tell me. You'll hardly see a Ferrari or a Lamborghini car making advertisements for themselves. Why? Because they
Yes.
are working so well that their actions speak louder than their words. So just concentrate on your actions, not on your words. And people see the change in your behavior. They will not listen to you when they say मैं ये कर रही हूँ, अब मैं बहुत positive हो गई हूँ. It's like saying it with so much anger that I am so positive. Sorry. You are saying one thing, you're behaving another way. So people notice your behavior. They don't notice your words. So don't say the words. Don't tell them. Silently work. And like they say, you know, let success make the noise.
Yes.
So let that car slowly work on your engine, become a Ferrari engine, okay? And then when you get out on the road and you speed, your actions, that Ferrari engine will speak. You don't have to tell the world, I am using a Ferrari engine inside my car. People just know
True.
it.
True.
Yeah. answers
Yes,
your
yes.
question?
Very much, very much.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And
No, no, Jyoti, no, Jyoti. Quick. Share. Yeah. Yes.
Like I had to, first of all, okay, sometimes it feels like afternoon when we are done over here. So it's a great morning for me because as I told yesterday,
Yeah.
I choose to be happy. Sometimes you can come out as being like absolutely crazy. And I was thinking of saying something else, and when you spoke about a lot of things of the Indian crab, that's a story I always quote in all my training sessions when we have a split. I'm going to rewind you to one particular incident about loving what Suraya said, and few things was 2003 was a rather challenging period in my life when my husband had to go through his treatment for cancer. So we were traveling between Canada, US, India. So when I came back from Canada one session, after a trip, he showed me his tongue and he said, "Look what's happening." And I saw his entire tongue had opened up like a cauliflower. And I looked at him and said, "This is not good at all. So we have to fly back." And I'd just come 3 days. I said, my mother-in-law said, "Pack your bags and come right now." And I would never say I was this good bahu, okay? Inside I was different. I said, how the hell am I going to tell what I want to do for 1 minute? So I turned and asked my husband, so for a change, listen to me for this one time. I said, we are not going anywhere till we meet the doctors at the Adyar Cancer Institute. I said, for God's sake, let's go there. One doctor has to say whatever, and then after that, we move on. So we decided to go, and my husband was, he wasn't a perfect husband, but he was a wonderful friend to me. But he had this habit, he would always look, from the time I've met him in the 80s, he'll say, a woman, he loved to see me in cotton silks, and he'll say, a woman has to be like the dew on top, a morning dew on top of a flower. So I had to be in the starched sari when I wake up and come. Starched sari, silk sari, and all that. My mother-in-law would look and say, "You're going somewhere this morning?" I say, "No." Like, he liked to see me that way. So when we used to go to the hospital, the Cancer Institute, he would be in his starched whites, and I would be in this absolutely perfect for me was my starched sari and my silk, and tussar was my favorite. I used to notice everybody at the Cancer Institute looking at me like, sort of weird. And I would just go because I wanted to meet that one person called Dr. Shastri, my gratitude to him, because I think for me, he was close to God. He could tell in a jiffy, and he said things which nobody in the world told at that point. They said it much later. So one lady on one of my visits with my husband to the hospital, she called and she asked me, "Who is not well?" So I looked at her and I said, "Did you think it's me?" She said, "No, but whom are you coming with?" So I said, "My husband." She looked and she said, "You're coming dressed like this." And I smiled at her and I said, "Why?" She said, "You're coming like so nicely dressed and makeup. I never put any makeup. It's always my eyeliner and my lipstick." I said, "So why?" And she asked in Tamil, "So many people there." I said, "Why?" And for a minute, I didn't understand. So she asked me that every day. "You shouldn't be coming like this. All of us are looking." I said, "Good for you." By then, this anger and this proud, Rajput in me is working. And I said, the next day, I'm going to biff her on her face if she asks me that question. Finally, it was not one, 4 or 5 coming and telling, how your husband will feel. I said, bloody hell, my husband likes to see me like this, right? And I said, that man has seen me. And why would I show a sad Jyoti for a man who is now saying, how many days? How many days do I have? So I'm just trying to say how important it is. It is not dress up, but just being there the way, like, somebody has seen you. And dressing up doesn't mean you forget about what issues you have, because it comes to me naturally. Choose to be happy. The reason I'm saying this, I saw in my husband's eyes, he wanted to be that perfectly dressed person and he wanted to see that in me. The day he passed, you will not believe, I had to do a lot of work for him. He was dressed in this starched shirt. That is the way he was always. He smelt like a baby because always powdered, clean. The doctor will come and say, my God, nobody will say he has this killer disease. That morning, the way he was dressed. I looked at him and I said, "Oh boy, you look quite the handsome." And his car would automatically stop in front of Stella Maris. And I'll say, "How does it happen?" He'll say, "I don't know. The car jerks." So, and so I used to say, "Are you seeing Stella Maris when you're lying down?" He was completely bedridden the last 3 weeks. So I had to keep that going in him. And I know there were many people, when we are dressed up, they see other things. But for me, when you dress up, it also felt, it brings the joy in somebody. And I was laughing when you said the crab story. Everybody had something to say. And I'll always say, shh, vanish, vanish. You just vanish. Because, I wanted to see. So when you see something, I'm only sharing a point to say, till the dying moment, my husband wanted to feel good. He'd say, "Show the mirror." We couldn't show it to him because there were certain things in his facial things that changed. So one day, without anybody's knowledge, he took the nurse's camera and he said, "Take a picture of me, of himself." And he wanted to see how he looked. It wasn't the greatest sight, but he was happy with it. So I'm only trying to tell quickly here, this, looking good for yourself is so important, because in somebody's dying moment, I would have been lost. There was nobody around. And that day, when in 2006, when it happened, I was dressed to kill the day he had to move on. And he died with a smile, holding on to my thumb. And he said, "You still look so pretty." And he said, and I didn't know he was going to pass. I swear I didn't know. He just called and I went and sat. He was on my lap. He was holding on to my thumb and he said, "Sorry," or whatever. The day he died, he apologized. The day he died, he smiled. And he told me he still looked pretty. And he said, I told him, "Thank God your eyesight is super, because you still see beauty in something where nobody else sees, probably." So those were things which I thought I could bring a smile to his face when his last breath came. So I feel feeling good is being dressed up. For me, a smile is my dress up moment. So I didn't make to, want anybody to go like, "Oh my God," but I wanted to say, "Oh my God." So I always say, "Oh my Mata." It's like so good. So I just wanted to leave you with the thought of, there are a lot of Indian crabs around. And I always say, kick their ass, like I'll say, do something, say something that startles them. And there will be people who will pull us down. But we know the justification as to it. So I wake up in the morning and say, "Jyoti, you're the best thing since sliced bread. You're the next sunshine." And one side the Jyoti is crying. I was telling Rachna yesterday, one Jyoti will say something, the other Jyoti will say something. But I have to say, hush. But I'm just leaving you with the talk. Take that thing serious about what Ruchi is told about. Dressing up doesn't mean you have to go do a makeup or pan it up or whatever. But that little thing that can make you feel, you add a smile to somebody, and you also need to have the smile within yourself, because it can kill a million people when you go out with a frown and somewhere stop to say, "You're a darn good being since God made your mold and threw it off after that." So that is the thought I wanted to leave you with all. So thank you for that quick moment. I think I took about 3 minutes. Thank you.
Jyoti, you were so good, and you're looking so
Fabulous.
good with that haircut.
Yes,
And
I
you're
was
you're
just
just
going to ask
right
her
for
that.
today's
You
session.
noticed. You
Yeah, I
noticed.
did. And a lot of
Yeah.
people noticed, Jyoti. And I was
Yeah.
wondering, does she
Jyoti, we
generally
all
tie
notice you.
her hair?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I thought, does she generally tie her hair? But there's something different about her today, and she's looking so nice.
Dressed
And
to kill.
so everyone noticed.
No,
Absolutely.
because somebody was a little nervous to go to the parlor and they said, "But you haven't gone." They mentioned to me, "You haven't gone." I said, "Look, Corona is my friend, okay? So Darona." I said, "Come with me. Let's go shed some head weight." So we went yesterday and
No
I
one will be
used a
scared of
day
you,
before.
Jyoti.
Yes, Nita. I did an activity day before. The
Yeah.
lady at the parlor charged me a wee bit more. And when she said the amount, I took the money and I said, interesting. So I had to convert that. And I said, okay, 6 months I never went to fix my hair. So 6 months I saved the money. So she's asking me for 6 months. Okay, good magic dust. So I said, okay, good. I said I shedded my head weight. So that's where I am. Thank you for noticing and making me feel good too.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
We
Achana.
love you, Jyoti. We love you, Jyoti. You're
Love
looking
you
so
so much.
Lovely, lovely, lovely sharing, Jyoti, and so relevant because, especially as caretakers, when we stop taking care of ourselves and actually people who are not so well at that time, it can really help if people around are keeping it cheerful and people around are keeping it as normal as possible. And I think that's a huge sharing to take back in terms of what can we do in keeping that cheer alive in that person. And the least we can do is we can take care of ourselves and we can dress up well. We can go in with a positive energy at every single time. So thank you so much, Jyoti, for that sharing. Lovely. Thank you. Yes, Madhu, we'll come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Jyoti. It was a lovely share. Yes, we all
Yes.
could feel it, and we are with you. Lot of hugs to you.
Hmm.
Ruchi, the doubts that I have. Okay, let me first share this that I go for these acupuncture sessions in the morning,
Hmm.
and yesterday when I was through my session, and it takes 30 minutes to 45 minutes to be through it.
Hmm.
So when I was there, and I just closed my eyes, and we are not supposed to talk, and we're just
Hmm.
supposed to. I said, let me utilize this time. Usually, what I do is I check my phone and I answer my messages and everything.
Hmm.
But yesterday, I just closed my eyes and I started doing my desire list. So your recorded awaj, in that garden sit and all those that was constantly playing because I've done it. Yeah, I've done it now. So it is kind of recorded in my voice. So
Hmm.
it just takes a few seconds for me to get into that mode and get into that state and sit under the tree. So, and it's such a blissful feeling because it's my favorite tree and the flowers around, I can smell the breeze and everything. So it is very nice. So I did that one after the other. I was just saturating all my desires and maybe 3 to 4 I could do. It took about 10 to 12 minutes for each of them. And I was doing so constantly. I was having a slight mand muskan on my face. And there was a time when even a tear rolled out of my thing, out of bliss and gratitude. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and I was just not bothered what was happening around. It was like, मैं अपने आप में खोई हूँ.
Hmm.
So after I finished the session, one of the ladies saw me and she said, I just want to know what were you doing all these 40, 45 minutes. I've been
Madhu,
seeing
your voice is
you.
breaking.
You're so
Uh,
happy.
Madhu, I can't hear you
So
clearly. Can you just check? Yeah.
many needles have been poked in your body. Aren't they not paining? And can you hear me?
No, it's not very clear.
Probably. Wait.
Yeah, now it's better. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'll switch off my video because I have to stand at this place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she said, "What was it that you were doing?" And you were so, in spite of the pain, you're so composed and thing. So I said, I was just doing a kind of a meditation. Then she said, even I do meditation, but I don't see this kind of happiness. I could see that even though your eyes are closed, you are blooming with joy and happiness. So मुझे वो बहुत अच्छा लगा वो that blissful. Actually, I was in that blissful state and I was feeling very happy. And my sister had come along with me, and she was, of course, kind of taking a nap or something because उनका भी हो रहा था साथ में, so she was kind of taking a nap. And then she's like, "Oh, you were doing all these things." So Ruchi, I want to say is these little things that you've taught us, no? जहाँ भी time मिलता है, like when I'm driving, I'm seeing myself telling thank you.
Yeah.
And बहुत कुछ छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं which I've inculcated in my routine. And as you said, open the curtains in the morning. When I open my curtains, I say I thank for the lovely day and the day being added. So this is what I wanted to say कि ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं हमको आप practice में डाले हो for last 25 27 days. And people who have done dedicatedly, of course they can see, and we make it as a part of our life, which is very very nice and something to look, I mean, to be thankful for to you because you got us into this practice. Of course we are doing it, as you say, it is you who's doing it, but
Yeah.
you showed us the path to do. So very thankful. I feel very nice about it. And somewhere in the universe, probably in this lockdown 4 5 months, I've been searching something for some magic like this, where which will keep me going on an everyday basis. ऐसे नहीं कि कोर्स किया, सुना, अच्छा लगा, and then you're cut off, and then
Right.
again you're back to square one.
Yeah.
मतलब
Exactly.
नहीं है वैसा करके. So somewhere I think this is what has this has come like a solution to many of my problems, I can say. I can't say problems per se, but something to, which keeps
Challenges
me
or
alive, which keeps
yes.
me
Yes.
happy. Yeah. And one more thing that you said about the courses that keep doing something, something. So yes, throughout my lockdown, as I told you, since we can't go out much, I've been constantly doing some of the other courses, many courses on mind, body, and soul, all the
Right.
three, addressing all the three
Right.
areas of my life. So my friends, when they so like nowadays they ask me, अभी क्या चल रहा है तेरे लाइफ में कौन सा कोर्स साइन अप किया है तुमने so she was like you do keep doing this फालतू के courses, keep registering and paying for these workshops, and what are you going to gain? How is this going to help you in your if I tell her this is the course I've signed, how is this going to help you in your life? Why are you doing all the unwanted course? फिर अभी जब आपने कहा ना, तो I realized कि how it is helping, it is keeping my mind active.
Absolutely.
And somewhere the learning kahin na kahin kuch na kuch, and this is what has kept me going for these so many months. I think these 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is, it has kept me going because I've been learning and I have this curiosity for learning like you. I always want to upgrade and not just upgrade, I want to grow basically.
Right.
So that is one thing. And about the today's chapter that we have
Yeah.
seen, I have a doubt that
Madhu, just 1 second. I want to check if anybody else wants to share anything or if there is any doubt, because it's almost 7:34. So in case anybody
okay.
else wants to say something, we'll go ahead with that.
Sure,
And
sure, sure.
otherwise we'll come back to Madhu then. Yes.
Sure.
Anyone else would like to have a doubt? I would really want to see if there's any
Hi,
doubt
Ruchi.
you
I
have.
want to ask you something.
Yes, yes, Meenakshi.
Hi, Meenakshi.
Yeah,
Ruchi, actually, the way you were saying, you should be thankful for everything, whatever we are getting, right?
right.
So, like just Jyoti mentioned that her husband passed away, right?
Yeah.
But she can't be thankful for that. मतलब मेरा बोलने का मतलब यदि किसी को खराब मिल रहा है तो उसके लिए वो थैंकफुल होगा तो उसको तो और खराब मिलता जाएगा ना.
Jyoti, would you like to answer that?
Maybe that I mean now when I'm after so many years, when you ask that, I maybe at that time I was very young. I was all of 46 and I definitely wanted him to be around, but I had a choice at that point. Am I going to see the man of my life, my first love ever, lie there and struggle, or would I let him go? You have no idea. Sometimes there are days I would throw my dupatta on his face and saying, "You horrible man, leave me to struggle with all that." I do all those self-talk. But it maybe that's what yesterday when Ruchi was mentioning, something that opened my eyes was I've killed myself with guilt. And she mentioned one point, you have to look at it, that person's part was only till there. Now, with some people, maybe my journey was only till that time. I had to evolve. I do thank God for taking him away because I would never have been able to see him struggle. He was a man who lived like king style. It would have killed me to see people, look at him and say, "Oh, poor Philip." No way. Because, if you love somebody, I always think there's a saying, you learn to let them go. And maybe now I can say, see, I've learned the lesson when I look back. Did I feel the same then? No, I kept thinking like, why me to me or whatever. But now I can turn around and tell, you have to learn from a path that I've already walked. It's not that I'm like insensitive. My God, I'm like so sensitive, people will be nervous. But I truly thank God he's not around with that pain. Life would have been horrible because I know it's just not the money for anybody. A crorepati can go to the streets in a jiffy if you had to keep spending unbilled amounts.
Yeah,
Now I can still sit and thank because I don't know what my situation would have been. But for me, I know that person whom I truly thought was more a friend than a husband, I wouldn't have wanted them to suffer. And I do think it's a blessing in disguise for me and for him. A pain was relieved, but it's left me with moments today I can tell. And for all of you, I'm not saying I'm the only saint over here. I can tell you that each one of us have a story. But the thing is, do we have the courage to come out with a vulnerability to share it in a group with people I don't even know? For me, it's okay. I mean, if you feel like you should keep it within this group, fine. If you feel the compulsion that you have to share it, please feel comfortable because, my story, I'm like an open book. It doesn't matter. But it is a good thing. Coming back to what you asked, at that point, that day when he went, I had to, it's like a story I can write about that few days, the last few days. My husband had the best handwriting. The judges would stand up and say, "The Englishman is left, but he's left you with his writing." He had the best cursive writing. The man could not sign a check. Now, am I going to see that? Definitely not. So I had to tell myself, if the time is right, go. He did ask me, he said, you are the one who wanted to go, right? I don't want to die. I've told you that. So I used to say, hush, be thankful I'm there to do it. If I was lying, do you think you will do this? You would have brought an ayah. So I said, you're a lucky bugger that you have a wife to take care of you. I had to bring in human in a dying deathbed. It's not easy, but it's several years. I keep reflecting on that to say, I know many people thought I was a capital B. My mother-in-law would have seen something else. But for me, I loved him so dearly with all the horrible things he's done. That apart. But yes, I am grateful today to say he took him away at a time when he had to go because I would not have been able to see him. So, I let him go. He let himself go because otherwise he was clinging on to his life. My sister-in-law called up and he said, Philip, let go. Look at people who are waiting for you there. And he really did pass that morning. So all that we are going through these 21 days, guys, it's truly a reality and I can vouch for it. And probably Ruchi, I can be a brand ambassador for what these 21 days are. I can pull out sheet by sheet like an onion and give you story for everything. Come to me, I'm the encyclopedia. But there's another big book somebody else can say. But trust me, there is a talk. If we don't know to voice it the right way, and if I'm going to sit and say, oh, my husband, I went back to work on the 13th day. People looked at me like I was a crazy woman. But how do I heal? I need to be out too. So it doesn't matter, the same question people say, oh goodness, your husband just died and you're coming out. So I'd look at them and say, bloody, I'm alive, right? Like, why would I die alone? I didn't go on sati. So I had to tell few people, I said, your husband died. So after 5 years, you're dressed up. So I'm dressed up after 2 weeks. So what? It doesn't mean I didn't hurt. It didn't mean like certain things will happen. I'm happy he went at the time he had to because I wouldn't have been able to see him lying in bed, struggling. It's the hardest thing, Ruchi, to see when, if you have elders in your house, you will realize when they're struggling and you can't do anything and you watch them in pain, you have to let them go because the biggest thing we can do is to say, we are fine. We will be okay. Take care. When he died, he never told, look after yourself. You know what my husband said? He said, please look after my family, my brothers. And now I'm thinking, you bugger, you said that. Who's going to look after me? But I yell at it now. But again, yes, I did think God did the right thing. Universe took me through the right path. I'm not a horrible person, truly. Please be nice to me. But I did feel I wanted to see him go in a very nice way. I wanted him to go. People remember him in the right, the attire he carried, the smells of that. So that's the only thing. So it is good. For me, it was good. For somebody else, might not be. Personally, for me, I think he did a good thing.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you so much. And the only reason I wanted you to share it again is because it kind of gives you a closure around the whole thing, and that is why, Meenakshi, if I have to really compress and say what Jyoti has said, and I'm going to do that in less than 2 minutes. Madhu, I'm sorry, but we'll take your sharing tomorrow.
Pakka. I totally understand,
Yeah,
Ruchi. Yes.
because we're well into, and before my sister writes from Bangalore and says, Mon Vrat ka time ho raha hai, Devi ji band karo. Let me just quickly do this.
Sure.
I think just understand this, Meenakshi, कि जब जिसका टाइम होता है उसको ज्यादा सफर करे बिना, let that person not suffer, and whatever is best for that person, let that happen. उस समय you will not feel that it is the best thing that has happened, but when you look back, when you reflect, you will realize that at that moment this is the best thing that could have happened to him. Okay, and if you still have more doubts, Meenakshi, send me a message.
Yeah, sure.
Send me a message and I will work it out that with you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, guys. Today is all about loving yourself. Remember, after 11 o'clock, I'm going to open the groups and I want your parlor, no parlor, eyebrows done, not done, new hairdo, no new hairdo, I don't care. But I want a nice picture of all of y'all with a big smile and saying my apni favorite hu, okay? And also to do the mirror exercise bravely look into the mirror and say 3 things that you're so grateful for being yourself. So today is all about that. Okay. So thank you so much and have a fantastic day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, Ruchi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ruchi.
Jyoti.
Thank
And
you,
bye-bye,
Ruchi.
everyone. Have a
Thank
Thank
you
beautiful,
all.
you.
vibrant day.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jane. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ruchi. Thank you,
Thank
Jyoti
you,
ji, for
Ruchi.
all
Send
the
all your
lovely
messages.
sharings.
So we will keep
Thank you,
keep
Jyoti.
sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
More than a teaching.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wondering what I'm going to do after this 21 days, Ruchi.
Oh, you'll have loads to do. Don't worry.
Morning session will be really missing.
I
No,
know
Pramila, we'll call you.
Thank you.
but we
We'll
get
do together our homeworks in the morning.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that will be very, very,
Brilliant
very
idea.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, we'll
brilliant
do
idea.
together.
Yes.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Thank
Really
you
very
so much.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jyoti also.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Good.
Yeah.
Bye bye.